that's what I say. I just follow instruction. And the election of 2005, which you are well aware of, in that election, according to the European Parliament and many of the independent observers, the opposition won. Your office, especially you, defended, protected, and in the world community, you acted as their public relation person when they killed children on the streets of Addis, driving American-issued Humvees, sharpshooters, special forces. I know you're rolling your eyes. That's a fact. Okay, Madam Secretary. Wait. Madam Secretary.
When did the election take place?
2005.
May of 2005.
Where was I in May of 2005?
You probably be in the United States. You know,
Doesn't matter where you
I don't know.
You said me personally. I was an assistant secretary in May of 2005.
Okay, whoever the assistant secretary was. Afterward, you were the one who made several trips to Ethiopia, and you knew American army were used to quell this protesters, shooting young children in the streets of Addis by sharpshooters. BBC, Reuters, all of the media reported that these people were shot and killed children aimed at their heart and their head. You went to Ethiopia, defended Meles Zenawi, and still continue to defend. Your ambassador yesterday defending Meles and talking about Ethiopia as this beacon of democracy, beacon of hope, and everything is great. How come you don't talk about the young children that was killed on your watch? The opposition leaders that were arrested, and the 100,000 Ethiopians put in concentration camps. And now you are trying to tell me you are not responsible for this. In your view, Meles Zenawi, has he done anything wrong, in your opinion?
Okay,
Do you
I think we heard the question. Thank you very much.
Well, I both appreciate your speech and the passion with which you delivered it. But what I would ask you is to be accurate. I'm trying to be quite accurate in what I state, right? So if we're going to have a dialogue, let's at least have it be based in facts, not in, just broad general statements. First of all, I wasn't the assistant secretary in May of 2005, so your statement that I personally is simply inaccurate. I was ambassador to South Africa during that election, so I had no statement about Ethiopia.
Your office, I should have said your office.
Well, I mean, it's an important. I mean, let's be clear. I have no knowledge of the U.S. selling Humvees to Ethiopia.
No, they gave it to them. They didn't sell it.
I have no knowledge of the U.S. giving Humvees to Ethiopia. The majority of our, basically our foreign finance, military financing goes to a staff college in Ethiopia. It's educators in Ethiopia. That's the majority of it, and it goes to landmine removal in Ethiopia. Now, since 2007 or so, 2006, 2007, I think that there's probably more assistance on the counterterrorism side. That's since 2006, 2007, not 2004. So I would ask that you look at those facts carefully. There are many places where Ethiopia could have gotten Humvees, but I don't think they got their Humvees from America grants or from America selling that equipment to them. So that's the second. Third, I became assistant secretary in August of 2005. One of the first activities that I undertook was to go to the UN General Assembly, in which we talked to Prime Minister Meles about this very issue, about the control of his police and security forces in terms of demonstrators, in which we took up the issue of the people who are in prison and urged and pushed him to release those people, to give them speedy trials. And that has been a part of our dialogue all along. So I think that you're reflecting sort of a general notion.
No, in November, more children are killed, and the entire opposition was arrested. And then not only that, almost 100,000 kids, and they put them in a concentration camp in rural areas. I mean, that happened in your watch.
Well, and happened on my watch in many different countries, which is why I said that a fundamental principle of our foreign policy and the Secretary's vision and a guiding principle of our Africa policy is that we will use our diplomatic power to help Africans build their own nations. You can't expect the United States to change every government in Africa. You wouldn't want us to do that. Now, you were against Ethiopia, and there's a whole other room someplace else that's for Prime Minister Meles. What we're trying to do is urge governments. No, it's the truth. Look, I meet many Ethiopians all over the place. I know large communities in the diaspora are very opposed to his government, and there are large communities in the diaspora at home that are very for him, and large communities at home that are against him.
What was the election result?
Okay, hold on a second.
What I'm saying is, look, it's not, I just said that we pushed Prime Minister Meles to release political prisoners. We pushed Prime Minister Meles to control the security forces, and we will continue to do so. And he has released political prisoners. That's not to support or protect him, that's just a fact. And there are others who are still in jail. That is also a fact. And so, we have to engage.
I'm sorry, Senator. I'm sorry. We have other people that
People are getting right. Sir,
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry.
I don't get this opportunity every day.
And
So
no,
I need
and
to
I'm sorry. I don't have to ask you.
Other people will raise your question, I'm sure of it.
We have a question that is not related to Ethiopia or Eritrea. Over here.
Wait. I didn't get an answer to my question.
This is, I think, the best you're going to get for the time being. Thank you very much.
My question is about Somaliland.
Yes.
I know that the president of Somaliland was here in Washington a few months ago, and that you returned a visit to Somaliland, and much overdue visit, and much appreciated by the people in that region. My question is, what is the status of that relationship at this point?
Yeah. We've said all along about Somalia, Somaliland, Puntland, and others that we would engage with all sides and all parties. And we've tried to be faithful to that. We're not 100%, but we've tried to be faithful to that. I had hoped that U.S. policy would be able to make a more definitive judgment about Somalia and Somaliland. And I had hoped that and I stated it publicly, that we would follow the AU. And I thought the AU was on its way to making a definitive judgment, which I'm now talking about recognition of Somaliland. I think that the AU is not prepared at this point in time to make a judgment about recognition of Somaliland. And therefore, I think that this is something that is going to probably pass to a next administration. But we have really focused on trying to strengthen the relationship with Somaliland, particularly in terms of the democracy promotion. There's for the elections upcoming and the ones previously, which really, I think, highlighted or stood Somaliland apart from what else is going on in Somalia, was the manner in which they conducted their last election and have organized themselves. So we will continue with our engagement. We also obviously have interest with Somaliland in terms of counterterrorism. There are certain bad groups that go straight through Somaliland, through Hargeisa. I was quite proud to have the opportunity to travel to Somaliland. This is one of the areas when I was talking about how difficult it is to conduct and project American power. I personally believe that we should have a presence in Somaliland. I think it's safe and secure enough that we could have a U.S. diplomatic presence there to increase our engagement, but I don't think it's likely to happen over the next 6 or 7 months. And so it's something that will be taken up probably by the next administration.